Welcome back to 30 Days of Yoga. Today we're going to use a pair of either yoga therapy balls or pair of tennis balls. Works like a pretty good substitute. I've used tennis balls for a long time before I invested in the therapy balls. These ones are the Tune Up Fitness brand. If you want to look up their website and take a look at what they offer, I use them for my students in my class now and also my personal practice. I think doing myofascial release is one of the biggest things that has helped my body to recover from deep workouts, big workouts like strength training, and also from just being, stiff and tight in daily life. Sometimes my low back gets tired and achy. I do a lot of other work besides teaching yoga, and sometimes our feet need a little extra love after a long day of standing, or if you're active in hiking or running, really important as well. The low back can get achy, and of course we all complain all the time that the upper back and shoulders hold tension and tightness. So we're going to address those areas today with the therapy balls. You're going to start down on your back, and with any practice we always want to start with our breathing. So let your hands just drop right onto your ribs or your low waist, and start to take fuller, deeper inhales as your body relaxes down underneath you. Feeling the weight of your body from back of the head to the shoulders. Feel the heaviness of the back ribs and the spine all the way down to the hips. And whether legs are bent or straight, feel the heaviness of the legs all the way down through the ankles, the heels. And using your breath to expand your inner body, your belly, your ribs, your waist, all the way up into your fingertips, using your hands as feedback for just how big that breath can be. Oftentimes, the quality of our breath is really shallow or choppy or almost frantic if we're busy or we're stressed, we're late. And let all of that go right now so that you come into a more conscious and soulful breath, really right down to the bottom tips of the lungs, your fingertips, everything getting more embodied with your breath. And then one at a time, bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a really big squeeze, letting your thigh bones just drop in towards your belly. You can take the knees a little wider if you want a different stretch into the hips. Allowing yourself to imprint your low back with a little movement onto the mat or whatever surface you are on. Of course, you don't have to have a yoga mat to do any of these things. All right, we're going to start with an easy twist. So straighten out your left leg on the mat or your space and bring your right knee in nice and close and draw it just in a little windshield wiper shape across your chest. And then we're going to take a really big inhale breath, knee to the right, and exhale, bring that knee across the body to the left. Just a gentle twist, unraveling the spine. So whether you start this practice at the beginning of the day and your body might be a little stiff from laying still, sleeping all night, and all that spinal fluid kind of pooling into the spine, or maybe you've been sitting all day, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you've been really busy and physically active all day and your body just needs a reset and an unwind. Here's your chance. All right, let's take it back to center on the mat, and we'll do the same thing to the other side. Pressing the right heel down, lengthening out the leg, draw the left knee in really close, and then start to take it across. Just moving it left to right, waking up the hip. Tight hips can also be one of the things that lead to a tight low back. Take a big inhale breath as you draw your left knee towards your left shoulder, and then exhale, move your knee across your body to the right. Take your left arm to your side. Maybe your right hand just helps gently lower that leg a little bit deeper into the twist, moving that stretch to the outer hip and glute. Breathe into your low back. You might start to feel an unwinding and unraveling and a softening already, I hope. All right, coming back to center, press your feet into the mat. Let's take a figure four with the right ankle over the left leg. Just press your right knee away from your ribs and your shoulder with your right hand, always flexing that right ankle. And then we'll change sides. Left ankle on top. For today, just leave that right foot on the mat. We don't need to Make this our biggest hip stretch. All right, come on back to center. Let's take the two therapy balls. You're going to tuck them right under your glutes. So if I was wearing jeans that had back pockets, it would be like sliding one into each back pocket right now. And then drop your hips right back down onto the therapy balls. Take a couple of deep breaths here. Do a little nod of your chin left to right and maybe up and down until you feel center in the back of the head. And then, as though your body was a really melty marshmallow, let your low back just sink all the way down to the mat. And then start to press into your feet and wag your hips across the therapy ball. So I'm going right in the center of the glute muscles, really strong, big muscle group. And we're going to give it a really slow press and roll. It's like a big, slow wave. Think of the slowest, biggest wave deep in the ocean. Don't be afraid to slow it down here. And take it side to side, and then maybe move them up a little as your body starts to loosen up. You can find a different spot to explore in the glute area. Just changing it up, taking them wherever you need them. And your body will tell you, definitely an opportunity to tune in to what's happening, what needs attention, what needs release, relaxation, massage. All right, then we're going to take them right back into the center of the muscle and take that left ankle up to the figure four. And now we're going to lean all the way into that left side. So just pressing, rolling all the way to the outer hip, imagining that if I could reach the outer seam of my yoga tights or whatever you're wearing, you're going to get it all the way to that outer hip. And you can stay here and do each of these moves as long as you like. I'm going to start taking it to the other side, just demonstrating where you'll go next when you're ready. But definitely, don't be afraid to take each of these areas for up to 5 minutes if that's what you need. I think it'd be really boring to watch me do it for 5 minutes, but you can take all the time you need in your own home, in your own practice. All right, let's take the therapy balls out of the way for that. Roll to your side, make yourself all the way up to your seat. And now we're going to take them into the low back. So I'm just going to tuck one under each side of my low back. And this is an area where people seem confused about what area they're targeting. So I like to think of it this way. If I was going to put my hands on my hips, kind of sassy, and where my thumbs would land, just above the ridge of my pelvis, that's where I'm going to plant them. So it's right kind of in the kidney band where it's sensitive, where you wouldn't want someone to poke or tickle you, right below the bottom rib, and just above that ridge of the pelvis. So as you come down, lifting up your hips and tucking one under each side, and then just giving a little roll, again, left to right. Can be a little bit sensitive. This is where the kidneys are, and the adrenal glands that are your fight or flight monitors also live in this area. So really slowly, I'm going to show you another option if this is too intense for you. You can also take that same movement, just propping yourself up on your elbows, bend your knees, feet flat, and then lift your hips so that you can just do the same thing, just rolling up and down around those low back muscles that tend to get achy or tired, especially if you've been sitting a lot, traveling. This is a great one to do. All right, then I'm going to take it into that right glute again, and I'm going to spin around so you can see the right glute. I'm going to take it right into my right glute, just one, and as I tuck it in, I'm going to lean onto it and get it right under that very tender part of my glute, and I'm going to clamshell that leg up and down a few times. So it's really targeted. If it's too much for you, just follow the first movement I gave you, staying on your back and rolling across both glutes. Maybe move another spot and just searching for that. And you're going to do both sides, so switching it up. And again, sometimes students seem a little confused about how to find the right spot. Really just follow your intuition. Pay attention to how your body responds to each of these movements. If it doesn't feel like it's right, if you can't relax your body or your breath into the shape, it's not the right spot for you. And then just adjust as you need to. I'm going to take a couple more on this side and then release. All right, I'm going to take the therapy ball. We're going to move into the upper back. So If I were to turn my back to you, you'll see that where I want to grab on that shoulder, and I wish someone would give me just a nice shoulder massage there, that's the area we're going to target on both sides of the upper back. So as I reach around, I'm like looking for that spot, and I think, yes, that's where I wish I could have a nice shoulder massage right now. So ladies and gents, watch your hair. Take it out of the way if you're using a ball that might grab it. Just tuck it under the shoulder on each side, and then arms straight up because we're trying to stretch open the area we're working. So reaching for the sky, maybe even just grabbing your hands with each other, and then lifting the hips and shimmying the shoulders all across the therapy balls. It's very much like how a bear leans into the back of a tree or leans its back into a tree and kind of scratches its back. You're just going to keep inching them down one at a time. If this is too intense, if you have a lot of tension or soreness in your upper back, take a therapy ball to the wall instead